Hey guys, good morning, good morning. Let me just make sure the stream is working now. It should be up. Here we go. All right. I should be good to go now. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? I am in a new location today, so stream, different background, but let's say, what's going on, Danny? Good morning, good morning, good morning, Kendall. Buying PaySafe today is attractive, and they had another acquisition. They are a great growth play. Anyone else holding? On Kendall, I actually ended up purchasing PaySafe this past Friday. So I did see the stock price. They did announce another acquisition today. So PaySafe is up 3.52% on the day. What's going on in Judo? What's going on, Fizz? How's everybody doing? And Danny and Fizz, thank you guys for the support on being members. How was the weekend in Judo? Pretty good. Took a road trip down south with my wife, so right now I am not home. But still got to grind it out, right? So super excited. Not in my typical location, but we'll be doing live streams every morning still. New background. What's going on, Dave? How's it going? Kendall, what price did you get in? I got in. I forget, whatever it was on Friday. I don't really nickel or dime. So I know it was after 12 o'clock on Friday. So somewhere between the 8:20s, Kendall, is when I purchased on. Good morning. So yeah, it was definitely after 12 o'clock that I ended up buying. I posted on my Discord channel. So whenever I posted on my Discord channel, that's when I entered. And if you guys let me know, this is my I kind of had to do my mobile setup. So if my microphone is not loud enough, let me know. I can try to increase that a bit. But let's see. So today, I actually let's take a quick look actually at Finviz, see how the market is doing. I do believe the stock market is up today. I mean, my portfolio was up pretty good. Dow is up 0.59. Nasdaq is down up 1%. I'm so used to saying down that I said down automatically. The S&P 500 is up 0.72%. We have some big players up. So the big ones I kind of saw today were Nvidia is up 3.3%. This is a 15-minute delay. We'll see the actual time. But AMD is also up. And I want to take a quick look at why that is happening. There was some good news, in my opinion, over the weekend for semiconductor companies, especially with acquisitions. But we can see some of the big players. Microsoft had a big day on Friday. It's pretty much flat today. Tesla is going up 2.1%. I personally didn't take a look at their AI day. I don't know if any of you guys did. I might have to check out that video. Good morning, Gordon. How's it going? Energy is also up. And this is so tech and energy are back up today. It seems everything is actually up. Financials are up. The only things I don't see up too much right now are consumers. In the auto manufacturing, General Motors company is down about 2.4%. And Regeneron is down 2.4%, but those seem to be the biggest red at the moment. Let's take a quick look at stock prices. Let me just pull up full feature charts. Good earnings for Tesla, better than expected. When did they report earnings in Judo? I know recently for Tesla, they did that artificial intelligence day where I haven't really looked at it, but they talked about robots and stuff like that. I gotta take a quick look at that one of these days. So right now, what do we see? Market in my portfolio, everything except JD. Uber took a hit, I saw, with some recent stuff. And C Limited is down about 0.1%, but C Limited has been a monster. In the bullish side, Tattoo Chef is up 7%. We have Celsius up 5.3%. We have Gravity up 4%. Nvidia is up 3.7%. This is crazy. Brand new records for Nvidia, hitting $216. We also have Square up. Apps is up 3%. What else? It seems to be a really strong day all around. DraftKings up 2.4%. CrowdStrike up 1.9%. So for those interested on which ones I purchased, it was DraftKings, it was CrowdStrike, and it was PaySafe. And I'm happy I did. Those seem to be up right now. But everything is up at the moment. Unity, another big player in my portfolio, up at 123. So let's see. I was on holiday, so didn't have much time to check them in July. Oh man, and Judos. So you were a little bit behind on earnings, but yeah, I heard they were good, huh? Delivery companies, Uber, Door, etc. I heard down because of California law or something for contract workers. Yeah, I do believe that's the whole thing, right, Danny? I believe like they were trying to fight for the gig workers to be considered contractors or something like that, and California said no. So you have companies like Uber, Door, and those similar. I think another one was what's that Uber competitor? Lyft. Lyft was also down. But let's see, thoughts on Neo. Kendo, I really have no thoughts on Neo at the moment. I mean, this is the EV market, even though I do believe we're still pretty early. I still haven't really found too many companies I want to be in it to win it with this market. Neo, I don't think is one of them. At the moment, I'm just in Tesla in the EV market, and I'm also in NIU and IU. But in forms of Neo, let's just take a quick look. I mean, this is one growing at crazy levels, right? In forms of technicals, is not overextended. It's sitting at decent value, decent volume wise. At the same time, right? I just overall market right now, the EV market, I feel like there's still so much time to find the real winner in that market because we're still in very, very early innings. And before I go any further, guys, I wanted to take a quick look at what's happening. I'm seeing more electric scooters in Toronto. Nice, Fizz. Do you know who owns those scooters? I know there's a lot of companies. For example, Harley Davidson. They're working on their own electric bikes as well. So it's definitely a very competitive market in forms of both automobile, buses. Oh, and I also have Proterra, right? I forgot to mention Proterra. I do have it. That one has definitely taken a beating. So in forms of EV vehicles, no, I'm not too heavily extended. I want to say I'm probably 2% in my portfolio within Tesla, NIU, and maybe Proterra. Actually, maybe a little bit more, maybe like 3-4%. No idea. So Gordon, Palo Alto earnings is today after market closes. Gordon, I've heard of that one. Not too familiar with the company. This week in earnings, it's not going to be that exciting in my opinion. I mean, I think most excitement is done. Normally, we start to see a little. Jose, are you excited to have a chance to buy Peloton? I was going to say, I think that's the only one that might be excitement. What's going on, Bill? So today we have JD. JD reported earnings in the Chinese market. That's probably one of my favorite plays right now, JD and Tencent. On Tuesday, I think some people might be interested in PDD, another Chinese company. I don't think there's anything exciting on Tuesday. Intuit is another one. Kendo, you like Proterra. I do like it at these levels, but I think like LEV and Elms more. So Kendo, I only have a very small position in it. It's a tier 3 play on Proterra, and I don't think it will get any bigger than that. I'm just holding right now to see how it goes, just to get a little bit more exposure in that market, but not one that I believe would go past tier 3 anytime soon. On Wednesday, I think Wednesday is pretty exciting if you are in the semiconductor industry. We have Salesforce, we have Snowflake, we have Splunk, we have Autodesk. I'm pretty excited, and Elastic, right? Pure Storage. A lot of software companies are expected to go on Wednesday. So that might be interesting if you are in the software stock, in the software market. I am pretty excited about Autodesk, right? We saw great numbers in Unity, even though completely unrelated, but we saw great numbers in Unity, which is dealing with 3D modeling to some extent and 3D real-time simulations. We're also dealing with Nvidia, who just reported earnings yesterday, that they mentioned that they're seeing huge growth in their workstation graphics cards, which are stations used for Autodesk, right? So Autodesk, I believe, can have huge potential in this upcoming earnings. I'm bullish in this company. I just don't have it in my portfolio. On Thursday, we have, maybe some of you might be interested in XPeng. We also have Peloton for Fizz. We have Workday and Marvel as well. And Friday, it seems to be a pretty slow week. I know next week we have some cybersecurity companies coming into the earnings week. So, I mean, I don't know if I'll do videos on any of these. Maybe on Autodesk, depending on how things go. Maybe on Snowflake. Gordon, Snow bought by Warren Buffett. Did he add more? Gordon, or are those just his initial positions of pre-IPO? All luxury companies were down last week. Anyone bought them? What's going on in judo? I started a position in Louis Vuitton. So that's definitely a market I don't follow in judo. Not one I purchase. I want to say I actively search. Did you? You mentioned you bought Louis Vuitton. Bill, last week IB reduced my position because the margins maintenance fudge. Oh, that's crazy, Bill. Well, I mean, normally I don't do much with margin. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a hit for you, Bill. But regardless, best of luck to you. No, he didn't add more. Oh, okay, yeah, I know he entered in the pre-IPO at great prices. I was wondering if he actually bought some more recently. You should compare Peloton and Body. I am interested in a fitness play. So definitely, I think there are two different markets for sure. I mean, right off the bat, I think where they're currently at right now, they seem very similar, right, Kendall? I think Peloton and Body, if you look at where the stages are right now, they seem very similar. I think where they're expecting to go in the future is their direction in the future. I think it's going to be a different play. I think Body is trying to become more of like a Netflix of subscribers, and where I think Peloton is trying to enter more of a I want to say fitness interaction. So two different plays. It's different. I want to say Peloton is trying to make sure their consumers stay in there, where or maybe, right. So Peloton is already the Netflix, where I think Peloton is trying to improve the way they increase the retention rate of their users. They're trying to make sure their users stay there on a constant basis. But Peloton is already the Netflix, it seems, in forms of Fizz. Peloton has like 17K plus videos already. That's crazy, Fizz. That's insane. But yeah, Kento, definitely different industries. I think different growth stories, different growth. They're trying to go in different metrics, in different routes. So I'll definitely try to check them out and see which route I prefer the most. So let's do Legacy. Hey, what's your price target on AMD? Before we go any further, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in today's stream is AMD stock price, right? I want to say, Legacy, I have no price target for AMD. As long as this company continues to innovate, and it does, it continues to work on great leadership, continues to deliver great products, I'm going to continue to hold AMD, right? I'm a long-term investor, and AMD is still very bullish for me in the long term of things. I do want to say, though, AMD today is up on the recent news that, hey, I don't know if you guys knew, Analog Devices, another semiconductor company, and let me zoom in so you guys, maybe you guys can see better. So Analog Devices, which is another semiconductor company, they were acquiring another semiconductor company called Maxim. This kind of got the all clear with China antitrust regulators, and the combination is kind of ready to go. I do want to say China is probably the hardest in some of these semiconductor industries to get the approval on. So because investors see that, hey, China agreed on this Analog Devices and Maxim combination, they are going to allow that AMD and Xilinx acquisition, right? So overall, it's increasing the probability of that acquisition going on between AMD and Xilinx. AMD is, I believe, China regulators are the only ones that are needed for this AMD acquisition to go through. So a lot of investors got a bit excited. We're up 2.15%. I do believe that's another reason why Nvidia stock price is up right now, for that same reason. Hey, if Analog Devices can kind of get another semiconductor acquisition approval, maybe Nvidia can do it with the UK regulators as well. Again, I think this is more just the overall headlines kind of increasing the bullish sentiment on these acquisitions. I don't think they relate, right? I don't believe because Analog Devices got approved for their acquisition, AMD or Nvidia are going to get approved. It's just more of just headlines kind of matching the three companies together. But overall, I don't think they kind of relate. Chinese semiconductors may make for a decent China investment. They're trying to become a semi-powerhouse, focusing more on tech, AI, and blah, blah, blah. Nvidia paid fee to SoftBank if the deal is not done. That's crazy. I did not know that, Bill. I mean, I don't think the fee would be crazy price. I mean, I do believe Nvidia and leadership kind of understood that there is high risk with this. Does anyone know of any leading Chinese semiconductor companies? To be honest, Fizz, no, I don't know any. But usually, so would love to hear about others. But for me, just from the prior work that I used to do, there was no way, Jose, that I can even touch a company like that in forms of technology wise, right? To even try to look at in form of technology. So usually American semiconductors are the best way to go for me. SoftBank stock has taken a hit lately. Haven't seen. So SoftBank deal to sell ARM has 1.2. See, so Bill, I'm not gonna lie. 1.25 seems like a lot. I mean, it's definitely gonna hurt. It's not gonna break the bank. Do you own in judo? Do I own TWM? I think that's TWM, right? Taiwan. I don't own Taiwan. TSM it is, right? TSM stock. I do not own. It is crazy. It is crazy. 100% crazy. 100%, right? That's about 10% of the current cash that they have right now, right? I think Nvidia ended the quarter with 18 billion, 19 billion dollars in cash and cash equivalents. So yes, it's a huge hit. What I'm saying is not it's obviously a huge hit, not the worst hit. It's like one of those hits that yes, it would hurt, but not something that would end the career of a company, right? That's where I was trying to go with, Bill. But definitely 10% of current cash is definitely a huge hit. Me either, but it looks like they'll be getting a lot of government help for growth. Very interesting, right? So if we've Fizz, I know you are great at finding other investors. So if you do find some great investor that follows that kind of market, feel free to let us know. So let's see. TSMC, right? So I do not have a position in TSM. And right now, I mean, with semiconductor shortage, I can definitely, with or without semiconductor shortage, this is still a market I'm bullish in, right? Semiconductors industry, I've been bullish before the shortage. I will be bullish after the shortage, right? Just for overall, just because of my fundamentals knowledge in the career and in education, I can see that semiconductor is not going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm bullish in this market for sure. TSM, though, it's not a company I'm in. My two biggest semiconductor plays are AMD and Nvidia right now. But let's say if I had to own Taiwan Semiconductors, I wouldn't be against it. One thing I could see though is this stock price for the past year has barely moved. So it's kind of just consolidating right here in this low 110s. I want to say if someone wanted to buy a position, if I wanted to enter this position, I do believe right now there's plenty of support, plenty of volume in these areas. So this is where I wouldn't mind building a base. How about SOXL? So that's the semiconductor. That's the semiconductor 3x bull. I want to say the 3x bull. This is more play if you are into short-term trading. I wouldn't do SOXL for, I want to say, long-term investments, just because unless you're in like a consistent bull market, I want to say 3 times exposure ETFs are very, very risky. Gordon, who was it? I think it was Bill. These are very risky if you don't know how to play them. This is these I want to say are very short-term trades, in my opinion, a few months at most, depending on how you feel the market is leveraged. I do want to say the semiconductor industry right now, I do believe is a bit overextended. So I'm not huge in getting into right now. I want to say exposure ones like this are ones when you're really just getting off a bear market and kind of starting on brand new bull market. Unfortunately, I don't know when to time that perfectly. You get price decay holding leverage ETFs long term. Yep, for sure, Fizz. That's why I XOL perfect for short term trades. Weekly, daily, or even a little bit of month. I used to be in SOXL. This was probably one of my favorite 3 times ETF exposure. I don't do it anymore. So let's see. Tattoo Chef is up, right? And what's going on? Tattoo Chef is up 7.68%. Let's see if there's any recent news, but let me see what's else is up there. Kendall, do you think Baba will rebound? I mean, I can't imagine. I feel Baba. We'll take a quick look at TTCF and quit. But Baba, right? This is definitely getting hit pretty hard with everything that's happening exposurely at these moments. I mean, it seems scary, especially if you've been a Baba investor since like 2020s. I mean, it seems a bit scary. If I personally had a position already in Baba and I was happy with my exposure size, I would just let this volatility ride out. I mean, there's still so much unknowns right now with this market. So I mean, I do believe in the future it could bounce up. The question is how long till that happens. Julie, do you follow meme stocks at all? I don't think so. I mean, it depends what you consider a meme stock. AMD used to be a meme stock when I was following it, right? AMD was probably the biggest memer of all when I was in the market, when I first started the market or so. So I mean, AMD, one of the OG meme stocks next to Tesla, right? So I don't mind following them. I don't follow AMC if that's what you mean, right? AMC is not a stock I follow, but Jose is a big wish bull. Yeah, right. How is Wish doing? I'm nowhere near a wish bull. But it's up 0.83% today. So Julie, what meme stocks were you talking about? So let's see. Gordon, the 15 billion social aid seems to focus on areas such as increasing incomes for the poor, improved medical assistance, promoting rural economic efficiencies, and subsidized education programs. Gordon, I'm guessing you're talking about Tencent. Yes, you are. I kind of mentioned Tencent's recent news of pledging 15 billion to the Chinese government as social aid has been flooding the streets. Again, right, a lot of people are saying, I've kind of seen that, right? The overall Chinese market has definitely, it's been very, very volatile lately. So much news right now that I'm not selling any of my positions right now. I'm happy with my exposure overall, that I'm not willing to sell. But at the moment, Gordon, I'm also not willing to buy right now, especially since I'm a little bit more bullish in other markets right now. 33, I'm 33, thanks for the support. Julie, thanks for the support. I think I missed you guys. Gordon, I don't know if I said it, but thanks for the support. Let's see. 33, if semiconductor stock is overextended, thoughts on some genome stocks which have been hit over the last 6 months. So I do think, unfortunately, if I do think the market is overextended, it doesn't mean the pullback is coming. Overextensions can happen for multiple months. But at the same time, I don't think I have bought any semiconductor companies in the past month or so, maybe in the past 2 months, just because I think the overall stock price is a bit high. But I do believe some of these high growth stocks have definitely taken a hit. For me right now, 33, I did a video on them. I do think like the ad tech and the streaming market are now giving some buying opportunities at the moment. So I think like stocks like apps, like Magnite, like Roku, maybe I haven't looked at Trading Desk. I didn't look at that one. But things in the ad tech market, Trading Desk not so much, but apps, Magnite, Roku, Netflix maybe. I think Netflix is another one. They kind of have been, Netflix not so much either. But some of these ad techs have definitely given us better buying opportunities, I believe, right now, compared to where they've been in the past. So right now, I think I'm kind of done with semiconductors for a few months and focusing on other areas. Clean and SoFi are the meme stocks I've been watching myself. So Kendall, right? I mean, SoFi's definitely been a meme stock, I think. But I think SoFi has some merit to it, right? It has strong fundamentals. It's growing at crazy levels. I think sometimes just calling it a meme stock is kind of a company like that, SoFi, being considered a meme stock, kind of reduces a lot of investors looking into it. So might give some form of buying opportunities. So Jose, any thoughts on the agriculture sector? Bill Gates stocks up many farmland. Bill, I can't say I know too many of them in the agriculture. I would say maybe like John and Deere are probably will be the only one I know in that market. I know there's been the other one that used UAVs, I think it's called UAVs, which deals with drones in the agriculture world. But that's besides that. Those are the only ones I know, Bill. Maybe you can share some thoughts on other ones. So let's see. It seems like Chinese companies are forced to help. Definitely, Gordon, right? That's what it does seem to be happening right now. So you are saying you are happy with your current Chinese positions, not adding at the moment. Wait till the headwinds, right? And Gordon, that's definitely not a bad play, right? Sometimes we all understand our risks and rewards tolerance. At the moment, hey, maybe we've seen better rewards elsewhere for the risk we have. For anyone curious of the education regulations in China, should read Hayden Capital's Q2 shareholder letter. GDP in China is 10K a year, but on average, people were spending 18K a year on private tutoring. That's insane, Fizz. Pretty interesting. Hayden's Capital, he's on Twitter, I believe, or they're on Twitter, right? I think they share a lot of great insights. Gap have upcoming earnings. What's your opinion on that? Legacy, Gap, I want to say, right, the overall... Hey, look at you with the new haircut. What's going on, David Becker? Thank you. New haircut, new location. It's just a whole new place for me today. So let's see. Give me one quick second, guys. Let me just see what's happening with the stream. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, what were we talking about? Oh, Gap, right? So Gap, I don't even know if this is the Gap Inc. USA. Nope, maybe this one. GPS. Is Gap GPS? Yep, Gap. Jose living wealthy. I wish, man. I'm living not paycheck to paycheck, but I'm doing good. Not perfect. Secret billionaire. I wish I was a secret millionaire at that, Julie. One day though, one day I'll be a secret millionaire. Sidetrack, your hair is cool. Your curls, you curl it? No, Bill, I don't. It's just natural. Thanks though. So let's talk about GPS gap. Right now, stock price not overextended. This is definitely not a market I follow. I mean, I just can't. I enjoy getting in companies that excite me. Gaps doesn't, but in forms of technicals, it's not half bad. In forms of, let's take a quick look at fundamentals for this one. Let's zoom in here so you guys can see better. Gaps, GPS, Gap Inc. Let's see. Oops, I just canceled the wrong one. GPS. Jose got the F point. Oh man, you guys are too much. Let's see, GPS. So I mean, forms and forward price, maybe not forward price to sales ratio. Let's take a look at EV to EBITDA forward for this company. I mean, gaps. It seems to be a bit overextended compared to where it's been in the past. Actually, I mean, I don't. This one seems to be very hard. Let's see, forward price to sales ratio might be the best thing to do. Price sales ratio. Come on. Price to sales forward 1 year. So price to sales ratio. I mean, price to sales ratio for gaps is low one, but most retail places, they have very low margins that is usually that low. I do want to say price to sales ratio is a bit higher compared to where it's been since January of 2020. So I don't know how much this company has changed over the past year since COVID. Has margins improved for it to kind of increase that overall price to sales valuations? In forms of technicals, it didn't look half bad, but this is definitely not a company I would have in my portfolio. Not because it's bad, just because it's not a market I'm in. So let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, I haven't bought any semi either. Sold off some AMD at 112. I wonder when to re-enter. Nice, Joe. I mean, you got in, you sold at a nice price, but I think AMD is kind of pulling back up there, right? Right now, sitting at 106. So you sold at a good point, right? I mean, it's definitely pulled back since that overextension. And that's why I like looking at overextensions. At the same time, I don't sell stocks. It just prevents me from buying too much at certain levels. So AMD, like I mentioned, at these levels, I wouldn't buy a big position. Maybe if I had fractional trading or free investing, I wouldn't mind buying a small position. But when stocks are overextended, I personally don't buy a big position. And it has helped out over the past few months on really getting into some great opportunities. Let's see, Tattoo Chef is up 8%. Is there any real reason Tattoo Chef is up? Let's go back and see. So, bonjour, what's going on? Could you check out AMAT? Don't know why after a good earnings outcomes, it is pulling back. We can take a quick look. I want to see what's happening with Tattoo Chef. So Tattoo Chef, no recent news have come out for Tattoo Chef. Let's see in their overall investors press relations. But Tattoo Chef is up 8%. It could just be overall volume right now impacting the stock. Let's see, recent news. Nope, the last report that they came out was on August 12th, which was their what was it? Their earnings report. So, do you still own Corsair? And Judo, no, I don't think I own Corsair. If you go to my Discord channel, I would have sold. I don't know if it is. It's a small position. Let's see Discord. I want to see if I have Corsair right now. I don't think I have. But again, it's not for any bearish reasons. I wouldn't say it's for any bearish reasons. Let's see, Jose. Overall account. Let me check for Corsair here. Damn it. Corsair. Not in general, in overall account. No, so I closed out of Corsair in here you go. Exodus of my portfolio continues. So I closed out a lot in March. In March, when everything was dropping, I closed out of so many positions. Corsair was a position I closed out of. And I was using that money to distribute all into my top tier companies. So we all saw that huge crash. And I think it was such a great play for me. It was probably one of my best plays I've done this year. So I sold out of so many positions during the crash of March. And I ended up using all that cash in Unity, Nvidia, Sorens, and C Limited, where they have become such huge players in my portfolio. So I haven't bought Corsair ever since then. but I don't mind it, right? It's definitely, I can see the bullishness in Corsair, and that's why I love being as transparent as I can, and that's why I love using that Discord channel, right? Discord channel in general, I post every time I buy and post every time I sell, and that's why it's like, if anybody has a question, hey Jose, I can just go back to it and see when I purchased and when I sold. And I try to be as transparent as I can, posting there on every week when I buy and sell stocks. So let's see. I think I will do some research on AMD and see if they will announce anything big in the short term, because long term I am not worried at all. Yeah, that's actually interesting. I think at the moment they're still just announcing their overall growth in the data center world. I think that's pretty much AMD in both GPUs and CPUs. AMD stock is still up 2% for the day. I do believe the overall market is pretty bullish today. I'm super happy. We can take a quick look at AMAT in a bit. But yeah, and Judo, like you mentioned, right? I do believe Corsair, in forms of technicals, in forms of fundamentals, is sitting at great levels. It is not my favorite first gaming play. Let's say if I had no gaming position, I wouldn't enter with Corsair as my first play. If I did already have a big portions of different gaming companies and wouldn't mind getting in the hardware company, Corsair would probably be the first one to enter, because I just do believe the overall streaming market, content creator market, is still growing. We see Facebook focusing on content creation. We see Etsy and Pinterest also focusing on content creators. A lot of those equipments that they're gonna buy, a lot of these content creators are gonna go to Corsair to buy it, especially things like lights and other stuff. I believe that's where people start off first, just because they're such a big brand name. Dennis, do you do swing trading? Very rare for me to do swing trading. What would be your first gaming play? To be honest, it might, my first, I wouldn't say I have one. It would be somewhere between, right now unfortunately with the overall hit, would be overall Tencent, would be Unity, and one of the big players, Activision, EA Games, or Take-Two Interactive. I personally would like Activision at best. Or another play around it, I think my first play would probably just be the ETF Nerd or Nerd or Gamer. So Nerd ETF is pretty good, just to get an overall exposure around the market. So Nerd ETF holdings. I really do like Roundhills. So many people talk about ARK, and I feel like Roundhill has a lot of great investments, a lot of great ETFs that I enjoy a little bit more. So Nerd, if you take a look at their top 10 holdings, they have things like Activision, like Tencent, C Limited, Corsair, EA, Take-Two Interactive, Huya. There also is another ETF, Hero. Is that the one I'm thinking about, Gordon? Let me see on my ETF. I know I have, is it Hero? There's another one called Gamer. There's Gamer, and I'm guessing Hero too. So Hero ETF holdings. So for first getting into it, if what do you think about Burry shorting against and Judo? I thought that was old though. Did he reshort again? I thought that was a different play. So Hero ETF is another one. I like EA as my first play and Tencent at these prices. Yeah, so I think any of those big players, I think the three main players, especially here in the United States, are EA Games, Activision, and Take-Two Interactive. Those are the three biggest plays. I think Activision and EA Games in price points might be a bit better in forms of catalog that they have. Activision and EA Games definitely have a bigger catalog. In forms of stock price, in forms of my tier ones, definitely Nvidia, Unity, and C Limited are also good. I do want to say right now they are a bit overextended, but Hero definitely seems like another great ETF for the gaming market, right? You have Hero, top 10 positions, C Limited, Nvidia, Electronic Arts, Activision, Nintendo, Konami, NetEase. This is the only one I don't know, NC Soft, but they also have Take-Two Interactive and Square Enix. I actually like this one a lot better, Gordon. This one is probably a better play in the gaming ETF, Hero. And gaming, I think the whole gaming market is still very early on, especially with mobile gaming still growing in a lot of these countries. So this is a strong ETF. If there was an ETF for the gaming market, it actually would be Hero. This one, the stocks it has in top 10 positions are very, very strong for sure. So Gordon, thanks for reminding me about this one. Let me put this one in my watch list here. I don't think I have it here, which is surprising in my list of ETFs. So let me just add Hero here. Because I like to take a look at all these heavy. Another ones would actually be Meta. Meta is another ETF. This is a strong ETF. This is an ETF I'm buying almost on a weekly basis. The Meta ETF. So Meta ETF right now, if you take a quick look at some of their top holdings, you have Nvidia, Microsoft, Roblox, Tencent, Unity, Autodesk, TSM, Qualcomm, Amazon. So this is more of like metaverse type gaming. So if you want just pure gaming, I think Hero is probably a better play. If you want a little bit mixture of like gaming with technology improving over time, Meta is definitely that market to be in. So Breezy, thoughts on NFT arts and NFT games? So first, NFT collectibles. Definitely, I mean, I think collectibles in general are something that's not going to go away, right? I mean, gaming cards, trading card games, Pokemon cards selling like crazy, baseball cards selling like crazy. It's a market. I don't see it how I can see how the digital collectible market is also one that can grow. And I'm bullish in the collectible market, being digital or non-digital, real life, right? So I'm bullish in NFT collectibles. I'm not bullish in every project, right? I mean, I do believe, thank you, Louis. I am bullish in certain products. I mean, I think right now DraftKings is doing pretty good with their DraftKings marketplace just because it's a brand, right? You already know DraftKings, right? You know you're not going to be buying something crazy or something outrageous with DraftKings, right? There's some form of backing with it. So if there, I'm not too familiar with the more in-depth NFT projects or NFT games, Breezy, so that's not much I can talk about, but I do believe the consumer, your typical like people, know DraftKings, right? And they know a lot of football players, they know a lot of hockey players, and a lot of tennis players and whatnot. So I do believe for the overall consumer right now, DraftKings marketplace is playing it the right way. Obviously, in depth, for those more familiar with NFT projects, I want to say is different, right? I think there's a whole market out there that even I don't know. And Fizz, that's actually very true. NFTs are kind of parallel to the metaverse, right? So I did get lucky, and for example, I did pick up one of these Tom Brady's NFTs. Let's say in the overall NFT, let's say if we ever go into the metaverse, right, in 10, 15 years, now I have like a collectible I can go and trade in the metaverse to some extent. So that's actually really true, right? NFTs are kind of parallel to the metaverse. I mean, eventually there'll be, I know there's people that are doing like clothing and stuff like that. So it is parallel. The real question is which ones are gonna make it to that, which ones are gonna make it that far in time. So that's the real question. I think we're still so early in this market to really have a true winner right now. Ooh, let me take a quick drink, guys. So Nintendo looks attractive. So Kendall, yeah, Nintendo looks attractive. Let's see. That's Nintendo stock here in United States if you want to trade over the counter. This one has definitely taken quite a beating, right? Especially with new Pokemon games coming out and Breath of the Wild too. So one thing we have to remember, Kendall, is right, Nintendo has huge game catalogs. So yes, a few games can definitely increase revenue, but do they really make a huge impact in the company? That's the real question. So that's the real question, right? If how much of an impact will these games make in form of revenue for Nintendo, right? I do believe the Nintendo Switch is probably one of their best performance. It's one of the best performing gaming stations out there, and it's still selling like no tomorrow. And Judo, have you been adding spot recently? I do think I have. I mean, I think I've added recently. Again, let's take a quick look. Spotify. I want to say I've been adding to Spotify. So I added in May, it seems. I also added on. I added on June, it seems. So I did enter a bit in May and June, it seems. In Judo. If I take a look at my overall purchases. Again, and Spotify was a tier 1 stock for me Spotify was a tier 1 stock for me in 2020. So in 2020, I traded in. I made it a nice position in my portfolio. So that's when I really bought into. In 2020, when stock price was sub 150s, that's when I built up my portfolio size on Spotify. It wasn't a tier 1 stock for me on 2021. And now I have to think about, I think my tier 1 stocks of 2021, the way they are going right now, they might still be my tier 1 stocks for 2022. I haven't really found any crazy markets, any crazy companies to add on into that market right now. I think it might just I might add to Shopify if that drops down, and Shopify can become a tier 1 stock in my portfolio eventually. But I think right now there's not going to be any major changes. So don't spend exactly right, Fizz. I'm not going to be spending out there $3 million on a picture of a rock that's just money laundering, I think. Yes, agree, Fizz. And that's why I think DraftKings is playing it better, right? I think DraftKings and like Tops, I think Tops, even though I think their merger isn't happening anymore. But if some of these big gaming companies, like imagine Nintendo drops off, if Nintendo drops some Pokemon NFTs, like I think that's one I wouldn't mind purchasing, and because it has some backing to it. But there's ones that are by just random creators. Those are the ones I tend to stay away from. So Pokemon and Zelda along with Mario titles. Yeah, I agree. Kendo, I think those titles they are the best selling games for Nintendo. Agree. I mean, imagine a Mario NFT or something like that. Her Vive got licensed from Marvel and Disney and DC. I think that's important. Breezy, all right, now you're giving me something, right? Now you're giving me something. So Vive stock. I haven't really followed this. A Pikachu NFT would sell like hotcakes for sure. This is not it. So Vive NFT stock, is this a stock? Marvel, I don't know. I was talking about the semiconductor. So Marvel launches first official NFTs on Viv. Is this a public traded company? Breezy, not too familiar. If it's not, come on, man, you got me excited for nothing. If that was the case, but so Danny, you're in the trade for Spotify right now. Might scale more and more. Honestly, I mean Spotify. If we take a quick look at technicals for Spot, it's definitely sitting at attractive levels. I mean, next to its long-term moving average, I believe a nice amount of support is there. So Spotify at these levels, I like it. I mean, the audio market is not going anywhere anytime soon. This is a company that's continuing to innovate there as well. Fizz Square tier 1 after the merger, maybe. I don't know. Right, Square is definitely up there for sure. A high tier 2 stock. I don't know if I want to call it a tier 1 stock. Yes, just yet. Fizz. So guys, what's going on? Let's see the overall market. Let's see how Spot great. People just don't like the margins, man. People can. Oh, this is my ETFs. I'm all green. Let's see portfolio. Where's my portfolio? So right now, Tattoo Chef is up 8%, Gravity is up 6%, Celsius is up big today, up 6%. This one doesn't miss, man. It's insane. I mean, it does. I mean, I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to jinx it, right? Celsius is gonna be now down 20% because I said it doesn't miss. But Celsius, I mean, once it pulls back, it has those strong days. Let's see, Play Studios is finally breathing, even though that thing is still dead right now. To you, I don't have this in my portfolio. I don't know why it's here. Nvidia is up 3.5%. Nvidia up at $215. Sorrents is having an okay day, 3% as well. Fastly is up 3%. Square is up 2.7%. Gravity up 10%. I thought I'd see 6.86 here, Fizz. I guess it depends. Maybe this might be my last purchasing. I don't know. Apps is also up 2%. Google has been a beast. I can't imagine. I can't. Google, a boss. Google, Microsoft, right? Google and Microsoft are companies, and Facebook are companies that show you, hey, you don't have to invest in small companies to do great returns. Google has been a beast this past year. So sometimes even investing in these big boys are still probably some of the best plays. Fiverr sitting at very attractive levels right now. Magnite as well. CrowdStrike, I'm happy. CrowdStrike, I do believe CrowdStrike is giving us a short-term buying opportunity. Weird, shows differently on Yahoo Finance. Screw Yahoo Finance. AMD is up 1.1%. Google's relentless. Agree, Eli. right? Google has been a monster. YouTube has been a beast. And I hope YouTube continues to be a beast, because that probably means I will get more viewers over time. Right, so YouTube has definitely been a monster for Google. Let's see, what else? Anything red on my portfolio? So C Limited is my biggest down right now, 0.5%. So overall market, not too bad. My account, not too bad either. So I'm super happy. Is anybody excited about any earnings this week, or is anybody looking at purchasing anything? Will Tencent make a comeback? It's bottomed out. Time to buy. I think Luis. There's too much unknowns with that market right now. I'm still bullish in Tencent. It can obviously get a lot uglier before it gets prettier. So if one can kind of withstand that ugliness, I don't think Tencent is sitting at bad levels right now. At the same time, I always limit my exposure in these Chinese markets, and that seemed to work out perfectly for me right now with the way the market is doing right now. And so that's the thing, right? So it's more understanding risk and rewards tolerance. I understand the risk, limit my exposure. I still like the company, so I'm in it to win it. Was gonna buy Gravity, but it's ripping. Oh well. Coupon might be a buy. Yeah, Coupon has been pretty interesting for sure. So yeah, keep giving me stock, guys. I haven't really checked too many stocks outside my overall portfolio right now. So Coupon is definitely out there. What else do you guys have? Snow, Eli, are you bullish in Snow? Are you excited for Snow this earnings, or are you looking to buy Snow right now? How often will Tencent That's the real question, right? Fizz, how often will that goodwill have to go out for a company like that? So Snowflake does report earnings this week. Let's take a quick look at earnings again. So today, nothing too interesting. JD reported earnings today. Tomorrow we have, I believe this is PDD. Nothing too crazy tomorrow either. On Wednesday, we have Snowflake, we have Salesforce, we have Autodesk, we have, what else do we have? Elastic, Pure Storage. A lot of software companies are going into the market. So Sergio, how about ServiceNow? I'm not sure I have followed that one too much. There is a company I looked at and did a video on their earnings last quarter. Was it ServiceNow? I completely forget. But if it is, that one was actually looking pretty good last quarter. I gotta take a quick look at what video that was. So ServiceNow, I wouldn't say I haven't looked at it recently, if I've looked at it in the past. Bullish and excited for earnings. Nice, Eli. Best of luck to you in Snowflake. What do you think, Kento? What do I think of INSG? To be honest, I don't follow that market right now, but let's take a quick look at the stock. Let's see. Peloton and Fizz obviously is super excited for his Peloton on Thursday. Fizz has definitely built up a nice position in sub 100s, right, Fizz, with the overall drop in price. I use ServiceNow at work. All right, Fizz. Now we have Fizz talking about ServiceNow, and someone else mentioned it. So let's try to look at ServiceNow. So let's see, where is my Simply Wall Street? I want to see what this company is about. ServiceNow. I actually do think Pokemon Go. Dennis, I used to play. I don't play anymore. Not sure if that was the question, but who knows. So market cap, $119 billion in market cap. This company is profitable. It is positive in cash flow from operations. Very, very positive in cash flow from operations. And it's expected to grow its revenues 20.5%. So ServiceNow actually looks pretty impressive already. A big market cap company growing at strong levels. If we take a look at their financial health, they have about $3 billion in cash, $1.6 billion in debt. So a very strong balance sheet as well, especially for a company that is profitable and making money from its everyday operations. The last thing I want to take a quick look at is ownership. Ownership right now, you have institutions already owning the big play. Let me take a quick look at technicals for ServiceNow. So I think this is actually the company I did. They did. No, this is not. So ServiceNow right now, I do want to say first thing, a bit overextended. I do believe the software market is overextended at the moment. This doesn't mean the stock price will go down. It just tells me, hey, the risk is a little bit higher. But let's take a look at service price to sales ratio for ServiceNow, see where it's sitting at. But I think for this one, I think EV, since it's positive in cash flow from operations, EV to EBITDA forward is better. So even though all stocks are all-time highs, its valuation is actually a bit cheaper than it's been in the past. So sometimes that's why even though a stock is continuing to go high, their overall fundamentals have changed and kind of relate to that. So ServiceNow EV to EBITDA is pretty high compared to where it's been in the past, but it's definitely seen some form of correction from the past. So ServiceNow, technically, technicals a bit overextended, fundamentally looking pretty strong in my opinion. Oh man, Fizz, I played a lot of Pokemon Go when I worked in an office in the before times. The before times, that's pretty, yeah. Same, I used to play Pokemon Go a nice amount, and I would go through ins and outs of it. So what's another stock you guys want to take a quick look at before I leave? Android, nice earnings beat and stock price for Nvidia to 216. Are you considering to TP and buy the share gains at pullback? TP, I'm guessing Android player, if I may be guessing, is that trim position. I'm not much of a position trimmer. I'm more of a just not buyer. So for the next few months, Android, I don't think I'm not gonna be buying any Nvidia. I'll be letting that position kind of decrease around my portfolio's exposure. Eventually, if I see it pull back a nice amount, then I wouldn't mind going in heavy again. So right now, I'm happy where it's at. I'm just gonna take profits, trim position, both same. That's not my style, right? Android, just not the way I do. So definitely not gonna do that. But if I'm just gonna buy other companies at the moment. In the results, what's going to end up happening, Nvidia peaks, are you want to take, nope, I don't take profits now. It's very rare for me to take profits. I mean, Nvidia, this is a company I believe can continue to grow. Might be very volatile. It might give us better buying opportunities, but I don't want to miss out on Nvidia as a long-term position. So, Andrew, for me, I know other people like to take profits. That's what they do. For me, I don't need that money right now. So, no point in me trying to time it, right? Android. And Kendall, you like Roku? Yes, I think Roku looks pretty. I think right now, Kendall, this week, what I'm really going to be looking at to buy are companies in the streaming and the ad tech market. I'm going to do a little bit more research on Roku, but things like Roku, Magnite, and apps are the ones I'm going to keep my eye out for the next few, for this week to increase my overall exposure there. Dennis, Nintendo is a buy at the current price or going down further. Dennis, I wish I knew if it was going down further. Obviously, volatility, it could be very volatile, or that's exactly what volatility is, so unknown. Stock prices can continue to go down. Overall, I do think fundamentally, I mean, you have a lot of ETFs holding Nintendo at these levels. So it does seem like people are bullish in forms of technicals for Nintendo. Right, it's definitely sitting at long-term moving averages. Normally, if I'm bullish in a company, and let's say I'm super bullish in Nintendo. If I was super bullish in Nintendo, actually, let's say this. If this was Nvidia, and Nvidia was kind of sitting at these prices, this is the time when I go heavy, right? This is the time when one should go heavy, when I would go heavy. So if I was super bullish in Nintendo, I don't follow it too much to really say if I'm super bullish. I'm just overall bullish in the gaming market. But if I was super bullish in Nintendo, right now would probably be the time where I believe would be the best time to build a position. Maggie, how about NEO? What's going on, Maggie? Thanks for the support. Maggie, you kind of came in just in time. I was about to log off, but let me just take a quick look at. Market is super bullish. Everything is up right now. Very true. Agree, Bill. Everything is super up right now. So NEO, right? So Maggie, let me say, NEO is not a company I'm in. I want to say in the EV market, we're still very early. The only EV plays that I have right now are NIU, N-I-U, Tesla, and Proterra. Those are probably my only EV plays. There's nothing I have against NEO. I don't want to say I'm a bear on it. It's just, I'm not sure why. It just doesn't call my name. But overall, in forms of technicals, it's not overextended. If one was bullish, let's say if I was bullish in it, these are the prices where I wouldn't mind building a base on NEO. But definitely not a market I follow. And like I said, not a company for no bearish reason. I just don't know what NEO. It always doesn't give me a right feeling in my investments, and I'm not sure why. So from time to time, I tend to follow my gut, and for me, NEO is a hold off for it now. I could be wrong, but that's okay, right? We don't have to have every winning positions. So in judo, Facebook is one of my favorites already. 17, nice. That's a very big position in judo. Facebook is one. If it sees a pullback, I don't mind adding a big position. Facebook can potentially go into a tier 1 at a right price. And Maggie, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of worries in the overall Chinese market. Let me say, if you watch previous videos or previous streams of Neo, I've talked about Neo in that similar matter since way before all these Chinese regulations kind of happen. Like, I just don't know why it doesn't really call my name, so I tend to pass on it. But guys, I appreciate the live stream. I hope the setting was all right. I hope the new place was fine. Microphone and the setup were working well. If not, let me know, guys. But I'm gonna go work on some videos. And then enjoy the day. So thank you guys so much for the stream. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow around the same time. Now, time for me to end the stream. Thanks as always, Danny. And thank you guys. Let me just end with the support. Thank you guys. Thank you, Fizz. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you. Let's see who else we had. Thank you to Danny. We had Danny. We had Fizz. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you guys for being Jewy. Thank you guys for being members. And 33, I know you were here too. So take care, guys, and thank you so much.